This is the Lolcow Live scandal, which I didn't even know about until just now. Well, until I saw this tweet. The Lolcow Live cover-up. I was invited onto Lolcow Queens tonight to talk about Grace Thorpe. We had an agreement for me to make a video detailing receipts of heinous things she's done, and now they're refusing to let me on. This thread will expose the cover-up for Grace, and he tags Keemstar, which I did as well. Okay, this is the guy this is Lynx. I don't know who that is. Some lady, I guess we'll be generous here, but gonna use a different term, but this is the guy I was talking about, Becky, who knows a lot about Grace and can help us expose her. And he said, hey, Becky Boop, I don't know who that is either, but it says, yes, I was just reading about you on Reddit. Okay. I watched some of your vids when I was learning about Grace. Shamoo says, I have messages of Grace arguing for the age of consent to be 14, saying there are beneficial outcomes to sexual relations with children, and victim shaming Epstein victims. The age of consent stuff matters because at the time, Grace would regularly kidnap her younger sister, Maggie, without her mother knowing. And her mother's the one who has custody of the children. Grace's family, mother, brother, and extended family, were all deeply terrified that Ben was grooming Maggie, the 14-year-old. Pleading with Grace to bring her back and requiring police intervention to do so. I have a call between Grace and her mother where she is pleading with Grace to protect her little sister and tell her the truth. Because Grace wouldn't stop kidnapping her little sister, a restraining order was put in place on the father. I have the affidavit where it mentions the physical and sexual abuse. I have clips of Ben at the time saying Grace's sister should troll her mother by simulating fellatio on him with a beer bottle like Grace did. Yeah, good old wholesome family fun there. Grace has also accused her father's enemies or past co-workers of sexual assault on live stream to get them fired or try to ruin their lives. This last part is more for any of the people working with her or meeting with her. They should be aware that she has done this in the past. I heard that people were too focused on Ben, but these would be my issues with Grace. There are receipts for all this I can show. Link says, can you come on tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern to surprise confront her? Actually says confront, but you know what she meant. Becky says, would you feel comfortable sharing some of the receipts now? There's some serious stuff here you mentioned that I haven't come across before. He says, I mean, yeah, I can put all this stuff into a video where it can just be played with the screenshots to pause and elaborate. The only audio is of Grace's mother pleading with her to protect her sister. Becky says, that sounds like it could be good. I'd really like to get eyes on this. And just to clarify, you'd be interested in coming on along with the video, right? Shamoo says, yeah, I'd only be interested if I can show this stuff. I don't really want to just argue with her without being able to show it because it'll just become nonsense. Then he shows a screenshot of Grace saying what he said she said. Here is one receipt. Link says, my suggestion, show the video, bring Shamoo on to talk about it, debate with Grace, and then bring Darius in, and do not tell Grace Jesus. Okay. Shamoo says, one of them, someone asked, so having sex with a consenting child can have good elements, and Grace says, yeah, it does. You want to connect with someone. Link says, Jesus, fuck. Vid done. It's 9 minutes, but try to make it quick to cover everything. Let me know if that works. Link says, thank you. That's perfect. Do you want to send it here for us to review or a fresh reaction of it? Shamoo rightfully says, yeah, let's just do a fresh reaction. I'll send over before the show starts with a YouTube link. Are we doing this thing first? Link says, I believe we're starting you at between 8 to 8:15. Right, Becky? Becky says, it would be later. We need time for the host to talk and banter first. It would be after we review the Reddit post. Link says, okay, so what time? Becky says, after we're finished reviewing the Reddit post, whenever that is, probably in the 8 o'clock hour, which is coming up. Let's see. And this is, let me pull this up bigger. Okay, so I guess Link's messaged her. I don't even know. I'm trying to make sense out of this. Link says, why are we having guests on the show that I don't even know about? Who is he? Just some person you've been talking to? I didn't see this written on the docket anywhere, and no one told me about it. Becky says, because you're the one responsible for booking guests, I'm responsible for running the show. Running the show, you're responsible for booking guests. Okay, yeah. If you're booking guests, they should all be run by me first, and I should give approval. Wasn't Shamoo coming on anymore? LML. Becky says, because I said so. I'm the producer of the show, and I make the decision, not you. So please do your job and don't make me ask you a third time. The cover-up is in. There's more. Let's see. Just 1 hour prior to going on the show live, I was told they wouldn't be allowing me on or allow the video they asked me to make to be played. This is to protect Grace as she makes comments talking about the benefits of pedophile relationships and much more. Watch this video. And Shamoo says, well, before we watch it, with Thorps, this isn't a fake drama or over-exaggerations. This is a real family. And if you watch the video, they pose legitimate and actual danger to their family members and people they work with. This shouldn't be actively covered up. Shamoo says, my videos on the Thorps have hundreds of thousands of views. I've been the one to document the vast majority of their time online. True. This whole thing is totally bizarre, but here we are. And this is a screenshot with the links. Who's probably going to get fired now, but it says, apparently, even though you're literally the best fucking person for this, she's not the producer, though. She's in, I think it means on a power trip right now. Also, Link seems like the cooler one out of the two. Well, if they can, I'm going to have to talk about this publicly because I'm assuming it's because they don't want to actually address any of the things I'll let you know beforehand. And made a video for that. Made a video for that cover pretty serious things that people should know about. All right, let's watch the video. Let me get it a little bit bigger here. Well. Wouldn't you know? Wouldn't you know? Keemstar covering for pedophiles. Shocking. After his staff, I don't know if it was on Keemstar's orders or what, but seemingly, they were trying to bring Shamoo on. And then I guess Grace, who is very fearful of Shamoo, so has been Thorpe. I guess they forced them to call an audible here. Let's watch it.
Hey, this is Shamoo. I was asked by Lolcow Queens to come on the show and elaborate on Grace Thorpe's dirty laundry. I wanted to provide receipts and proof in an easily understood way, made a quick video to do so.
Oh.
While people regularly attribute many...
Wait, hold on. Cinemaz is here. Let's see. Okay, go ahead, Cinemaz, and then I'll play the video.
Hey, Rob, how's it going?
It's going great, man. How you doing?
Doing well. I saw this whole Thorpe Shamoo Keemstar drama, and I thought it'd be a good time to get my 2 cents because I can't stand Keemstar's whole Lolcow podcast. Not to mention this branch off, the Lolcow Queens. It's the most corny faggot shit I've ever heard of. So I just thought I'd like to join you for it.
Yeah, and I'm glad you did. I have to agree. I covered the Lolcow Live thing when it first started and for the first couple months, and then I went on there and torched them, and I had fun doing that. But it's seemingly after my appearance, not that there wasn't some fakery involved before, but especially after I went on there and just totally, of course, I didn't have a script. I don't work on scripts. And so I just went on there and went off, and you could tell that it damaged wings and damaged what they had going on there. And ever since then, it seems to be basically 100% kayfabe and highly structured. And they literally have scripts that they hand out and run, and there's nothing real about it. It's not even just one goofy kayfabe segment. The whole thing is pretend.
Yeah, the Keemstar's whole demeanor with the soundboard and the fake laughs, and that's not even really related to this whole Shamoo thing, but the show itself was horrible, and now they're trying to branch off with... I doubt you've looked into this Lolcow Queens thing, because why would you? They're literally just Discord pay pigs that Keem hand-selected to become internet people. They don't have any notoriety, any talent, anything.
Well, I never heard of. So there's some fat bitch on there. I don't know who that is. There's some other person, and then Grace Thorpe. That's my understanding, right?
Yeah, and I'll get into my theory as to why they keep sweeping. So, or I guess they'll blame it on I think Lynx is the booker, but it's definitely Keemstar's orders that they didn't bring Shamoo on. Shamoo has a video that has 100,000 views going over the Thorps, and they're acting like he's some nobody guest. That's not the case at all. Keem knows that the show will be dead in the water and nothing without Grace because she's the only one with a
Yes.
modicum of talent.
Well, yeah, I agree, and she's the only one anybody's ever heard of now, mostly for bad reasons. But
Yeah,
but there's nobody like I don't even know who those other people are.
no one does. Literally, no one does. I think they're just people who paid $25 to be in Discord.
Okay, so I'm not the only one because I knew a little bit about it and I saw they were doing the spinoff or whatever. But I'm like, is there something I'm missing here? Maybe because I don't follow all these people, right? Like I know Grace Thorpe because she's intersected with the show and we've had her on all those times, and then she went nuts and all this stuff. But and I remember at the time. Hopefully, I'm not talking out of school, but I was cool with Shamoo, and I messaged him several times about her being on the show, and he's like, "Well, you might just have to find out the hard way." And some of those shows were good, and we had fun. But he's like, "Never forget this person's this, that, and the other." Yeah,
figure.
Yeah, he's like, "Don't forget what I showed you and what I told you, because it's gonna end the same way." And she's a maniac, basically, and keep your head on a swivel, right? I'm paraphrasing here, but he told me so. I'll just say, go ahead.
And he was right for sure.
Of course.
And Keem's pretty much just sweeping everything up under the rug that probably Shamoo told you a year back, months back, because he knows that it's the only way he can get a paycheck out of it.
Well, yeah, and and Shamoo and a couple other people were like, "Hey, bring your own milker for content if you want, but be cognizant of what this person's all about." And I knew there was some skeletons there, obviously, but I really didn't know about all this stuff, and maybe it was just because I didn't want to hear it. Right? It's like, okay, the less I know about this person, the better. But by this time, all that stuff's out there, right? Like
well, yeah, like I said earlier, Shimoo's video has like 100,000 views. Destiny did a bunch of streams with them reacting to it and shit. You did your stream with them going over controversy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know why Keem doesn't need the money, does he, or does he? Like, I don't understand, because you would think Keem is loaded, right? At least that's the thought, and I don't really understand why he would do that. I could see somebody that needs the money or is in a tight spot setting up something like this, whatever, and just letting the dice roll. But it seems like there's more to lose for Keem than to gain by pulling Grace Thorpe into the orbit.
I'm almost ashamed to admit this, but I've watched a bit of it and a bit of the Lolcow Queens auditions and shit. Horrible, bad content. But what I will say is that Keemstar plans to have a network where he goes live on Lolcow Live, then the viewers go to the Lolcow Queens, then he's gonna make a third show. And like the word Lolcow on its own is pretty gay, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't like that term one bit, and he's probably gonna copyright the term at this rate. Like it. I don't know.
Well, that might actually be funny, because maybe then him and Josh Moon could start suing each other. But yeah, I never liked the term. I know people have used it about me as well. I think it's all like homosexual, and then who decides who that a term applies to? What, Josh Moon, who's arguably, if you want to use that term, he's a lolcow himself. So like it's all about money and monetization. As far as that term goes, and he calls somebody a faggot, calls somebody a weirdo, calls somebody crazy or drunk or whatever, pill pop or whatever you want to call me or anything like that. I don't have a problem with that, but the whole, it's a monetization of the term. And Josh Moon didn't invent it either. Like, this is some term, I think, from like 4chan or some shit, right? Like the image boards. And Moon, to his credit, I guess, or depending on how you view it, I guess he was one of the first to like monetize it, and I think his LLC is called Lolcow LLC or whatever. And you have Kiwi Farms, you have whatever the wiki that he runs. So But he didn't invent this shit, right? Like he just picked up some shit from the image boards and said, "Oh, I'm going to make some money off this," which goes against the
And
whole
like,
ethos in the first place. And again, I'm not an image board guy, but I know about the ethos, and it's not that.
and it's like newsflash to Keemstar. People who enjoy quote unquote lolcow content, they don't want to see them in a podcast format where they're profiting thousands of dollars a month and being braggadocious. They want to see him suffer. Like you know
Yes.
that more than probably
Yeah.
anyone. Like,
Well, the people they're drawing in
the
aren't
whole
really those
idea
people.
bonkers.
Yeah, they're drawn in like, I mean, I guess maybe some of those people, but for the most part, it's like what we would call normie, right? Like, and
Normie faggots, yeah.
yeah, and they don't know too much about these people, but they've heard of them, and you know, it's different from the traditional lolcow content. Is I want to see this guy's life ruined. I want to see him dead. I couldn't tell you how many comments I've seen like that about me, right? I want him in jail. I hope he doesn't see his kids, and maybe he'll die on air. Like that's the pure. That's
Yeah,
the
that
pure
was just a month
lolcow
ago or
content.
something with the Aaron M. Holt. Yeah, they want to see the life ruination kind of thing. That's what
Yeah.
actual lolcow connoisseurs enjoy. Not Keemstar hitting the soundboard and doing his fake laugh and giving these people $3,500 a month. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I that wouldn't strike me as something most of these people would enjoy. But you know, I hope he does try to trademark lolcow though, because I'm sure Moan will have to, you know, do a big fundraiser over that or some shit. And I guess he might have an argument since his LLC's named that. I don't know if he has any trademarks or not, but yeah, you know, it's funny you mentioned that because I heard that he was going to run basically Lolcow Live into Lolcow Queens, but that the idea was to have like lolcow content, quote unquote. Again, I hate the term too, but to have that running all day long, like a lolcow network effect, which sounds bizarre.
It's against the entire. Anyone who calls themselves a troll or enjoys lolcow content, they don't want a 24/7 podcast network where people get super chats to be a quote unquote lol. They want to fuck with them. They want to fuck their life up. That's not how lolcow shit works. Like it's so out of touch. It's so corny. It makes my skin crawl.
Yeah, I agree, but you know, and I make fun of his shit being scripted, but I will say this: the show got a lot more popular when he took a more centralized approach and like, hey, okay, we're not gonna leave anything to chance. Let's just script pretty much everything we do on the show. If we bring somebody on, we know what they're gonna do. They've agreed to certain things. Even when I went on the show, Keem wasn't gonna let me on, but you know, he's like, oh, you'll say something on air, or you'll get political, or you'll say something that'll get me banned from YouTube. The one thing I did agree to do is like, I won't say anything that'll get you banned from YouTube. Like, I won't drop any, you know, N-bombs or anything like that. That was the one thing I said. I won't do anything to get the channel banned. Now, I went in there and went hard, but that was the only thing I agreed to. But you know,
Wings threatened to quit the show
I know,
after that.
because I kicked his ass so badly. I mean, it was light work, and I'm not even bragging. Like, Wings is not. He's not much of an opponent in terms of the, you know, talking shit back and forth, the blood sport style. You know, I was forged in the fire. That's true. But Wings gets really emotional in a way where he's just like wants to cry and sulk and just go away. I don't know. If I was like that, I would have killed myself. Like, I just can't understand his mentality. But ever since then, it's been highly organized, highly scripted, and I guess to Keem's credit, although I can't stand shit like that, there seems to be an audience out there, and I've talked about this on the show before with another show that I don't find very entertaining, and I think it's a perversion in the way that it's organized, because there's no realness to it at all. It's not even just that there's some bits on the show that, oh, wink, wink, you know, they're fucking around, or some jokes, you know, they're fucking around. They just completely blended the kayfabe in with the reality, where there is no objective reality there. And a lot of people don't seem to care, though.
They'll do streams where Boogie gets water balloons thrown at him and shit. Like, it's the most... It's gay as fuck. Like, I don't even... I guess it's the normie audience, like you said earlier, that eats that up. But I don't get the appeal, and the branding doesn't even really make sense.
I don't get it, man. I really don't, but... there does seem to be an audience for that. And, you know, as much as I don't like it, as much as I rail against it, and I prefer reality based content. Now, that doesn't mean, you know, I cut the promo on Wings. I played that earlier in the show. Everything I said there was what I felt, but, you know, I put it in a promo format. Yeah, it's I don't talk like that normally. In real life, really, but
well, you're being an entertainer.
Yeah. I mean, it's jazzed up, but everything I wanted to say is reality based, and you know, it's not
made up.
Yeah,
shit.
And it's not scripted either. Like I did that extemporaneously, right? Like I just turned on the camera, and usually it's one take. I think that one was maybe the second or third take because I didn't quite like how the first two came out. But I nothing scripted. There's a few points I want to hit, and I roll through, and it's like, boom, got it. Okay, put it out. Whereas, and which is what a good promo is, but I don't know. I just don't like the scripted shit, the fake shit, and it's not even fake. Like we did Rotten Tooth Man's funeral on here. Everybody knew that was fake. I always use that as an example. But like, okay, but that was a comedy show.
It's an obvious joke.
Yeah, it's a joke, dude. But I don't know. Just I know I'm droning on a little bit here, but I really hate that shit.
I can pull up that Shamoo video if you want to play that.
Yeah, I would like to do that.
Do you agree with my assessment that they blackballed Shamoo strictly because the other hosts have no audience, no talent?
Yeah.
Keem needs to protect Grace, pretty much.
Well, Grace hates Shamoo. I know that for a fact, and
for good reason. Yeah.
Yeah, for very good reason. I mean, but I imagine she said that she would quit the show or something like that if they brought Shamoo on, and they decided not to bring him on. So pathetic, but also not shocking. Not shocking. And I was kind of surprised that they even proposed bringing him on in the first place. And double crossing him, not a good idea. You know, I've never done that, but I've seen other people who've done it. Usually doesn't work out well for them. And, you know, you got a tenacious guy who makes great videos, who's all over everything pretty much at all times.
Well researched.
Yeah, well researched.
A lot of effort.
Knows the scene like the back of his hand. Not an enemy that I would seek out. I'll just say that. And, you know, I made some missteps here and there with having too many enemies, but that would not be one that I would want.
I'd have to agree, yeah.
And he's a really chill guy. I'm not trying to blow smoke up his ass or anything like that, but he's a really chill guy. And if he's cool with you, you kind of have to work to piss him off in the first place, right? Like I don't know.
No, yeah, he's not someone who seeks out fights. Like,
no,
he's pretty diplomatic across the whole scene, the sector, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, he is, and you'll notice that people, you know, of course, I consider him a friend, and he's been on this show plenty of times, and I worked with him on the King of Paul documentary. But, you know, other people like him too that don't like me, right? Because he gets along with a wide variety of people. So to get on his bad side, you kind of have to work on it, or, you know, be somebody like...
Or be an incestual freak.
Yeah, or really be really fucked up, right? Like, it's one of the two. You know, I know they use the term horror cow. I don't agree with every application of it. And I don't even like the terminology, really, but...
yeah, it's all kind of gay.
Yeah, but I think if you're using that term, Grace and Ben definitely fit in that category. All right, you ready to watch?
Yeah, what are you at, 0 seconds?
Yeah,
or...
I pulled it back to 0 seconds.
All right, yeah, just give me a countdown.
All right, we'll go on go. We'll go 3, 2, 1, go. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, this is Shamoo. I was asked by Lolcow Queens to come on the show and elaborate on Grace Thorps' dirty laundry. I wanted to provide receipts and proof in an easily understood way. Made a quick video to do so. While people regularly attribute many heinous things that they do to her father, people forget or don't know that Grace has been a like-minded participant for the vast majority of their actions. So, let's get into it.
I'm racist.
Salute,
in her father's
Assmaster.
Discord, Grace was asked, quote, "So having sex with a consenting child has good elements?" To which Grace responded with, quote, "Yes, it does. You want to connect with someone," end quote. In another message, Grace is asked, if sex is inherently good, that means a man having sex with a child
they'd have to kick her off the show.
Her response was, quote, "It has some good elements, yes, but it's not, quote unquote, good." Yet again, when responding to a question over the age of consent in Discord, Grace responded with, I agree with 14 as a minimum age for girls. I could see myself potentially being ready for marriage at 14. My sister Maggie is 13, and I could see her being potentially ready for marriage in a year. Do I think I'm currently mature enough for marriage? No. This statement and her inclusion of her minor sister within it is important for what is to follow. At this time, Grace's mother, Courtney, had custody of Grace's 4 minor siblings. Ben Thorpe, at the time of Grace's comments about marriage, began expressing renewed interest in Grace's minor sister and began making disturbing and uncomfortable comments.
Okay.
I've really kind of discovered Grace's younger sister, just wonderful young woman. She's just so funny. And finally, one of my kids has my same spirit of like thinking things are funny and doesn't freak out about everything. I was yelling at her and she was just like,
but
so
Ben,
she's terrific.
So now you're saying
it's like daddy's girl. This one over here is just this mirror of her mother. This just never stops.
Okay, so Ben,
I'm ready to dump her. She's hit the wall. I'm ready for
what?
Something new.
6 years.
I got a new daddy anyways. And he lives in Mexico, so
no.
I think teenage girls would really like me.
Statements like this terrified Grace's family, as they had already been through what Ben did to Grace. Ben would continue these comments, and Grace's eldest brother began responding with, quote,
she jazzed that up too.
Creep. Stay away from my sister. And, quote, I won't let you groom Maggie. Grace around this time would begin kidnapping her younger sister without her mother's consent and sometimes knowledge for days at a time to be with her and her father, and refused to return her minor sister. This would further terrify Grace's family, and in one instance of her taking her sister without her mother's consent, Ben Thorpe would post this. According to Grace's brother, what Ben had posted was a picture of the minor child's breast, and Ben wrote, I find this image attractive. Does that make me a perverted cunt? Both my daughters have these. I think I'm normal. Ben's eldest son would question if it was his 14-year-old sister, to which Ben would reply, keeping the world safe by accusing fathers everywhere of taking pictures which show that their daughters have breasts. It's about time we had somebody stamp out this moral offense.
Hold on, pause it for a second.
A Smaster 33 sent $1 on Rumble. Dale Earnhardt, no.
Got it.
Dale Earnhardt, no. All right, 317 is where I'm at.
Okay, I'm at 321. Just click play now. I'll
okay. All right, I'll hit it right now.
Then reply with, that's definitely Maggie then, which apparently Grace thought was hilarious. Things would escalate further as Ben began to encourage his 14-year-old daughter to do sexual things to torment her mother, suggesting one of the exact ways in which Grace would torment her mother when Ben's grooming began with her.
I told Maggie that she should troll her mother the same way Grace trolled her mother. This blowjob stuff, that they're free to do this thing. Not with me, but like, she's got this real problem. And I think they're welcome to send her pictures that she's going to freak out about. Maggie can take something and do that. Just to troll her, to go, Jesus, because
what Ben is referring to is encouraging his 14-year-old daughter to do this.
But at one point, years back, I was like, okay, let's just deal with this obsession. And I put a beer bottle in front of my crotch, and I had Grace perform fellatio on the beer bottle, which she did enthusiastically. And her mother flipped out.
In fear of being unable to stop Ben and Grace from further abusing her children, Courtney Thorpe would get a restraining order on Ben Thorpe, which states that he was physically and sexually abusive. Quote, this follows a sustained campaign of emotional and sexual abuse, which he has forced on my children to witness, play part in, and be subject to. He has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, but refuses medical intervention, leading to episodes of violence, threats, and emotional abuse. Ben Thorpe would be served with a restraining order for his wife and children, which you think would stop him, but he once again would use Grace to again kidnap her 14-year-old sister without her mother's knowledge to be held up with Ben and Grace despite an active restraining order for days, refusing to give her back to her mother who had custody. Police got involved, to which Grace would lie to the police by saying her father was never near her little sister, even though they were in the same apartment, further enabling Ben. Eventually, the police and Courtney would end up at Ben and Grace's apartment.
I never saw this, actually.
They're right there on the bench, right outside the door.
Yeah, me neither.
It's my mom, and so we are just inside, waiting for the police to arrive.
When the people like a schizophrenic.
She's so fucking crazy. We're just waiting for the police.
It was decided for Grace and Courtney to meet at a mutual location in a park to get Grace's sister
How did
back
I
to her
miss
mother.
this arc, actually?
What you're about to hear is an off-stream call in which Grace's mother would plead
I didn't
with
know they
Grace
absconded
to
with the
protect her
14-year-old
sister and tell her the truth.
You did this inappropriate thing with Maggie where you totally broke her trust with you because you said that you're going to prevent the same thing happening to her that happened to me. And she understands that to mean grooming and by her own father. Okay, you could say whatever, you didn't say that, but that's what she understands that to be. She was so freaked out by that. She turned to both of us in the park and she said to me, "What am I supposed to go home with mom now?" Right? I just walked away. I was walking to my car. She gets in the car with me and then I'm parentified again. And she can't talk to her own dad because you have a restraining order against him. Don't you understand how you're putting me in the middle of things by doing
no, that's not being parentified. Telling her as an older sister your experience and being honest about it is not being parentified. That's just being a good older sister.
You're creating this situation. You said
I did not create it. I'm
she
being
doesn't
honest
trust
about
you.
it, and you're lying about it.
You told her, she called you and she said, "Can you please explain why there's a restraining order against dad?" You said, "I'm not talking about this with you. And if you want to know the truth, ask your sister to tell you the truth."
Yeah, you should tell her the truth, and I'm not going to have her be told by you guys, or maybe just come up with it in her own
So
mind.
you won't tell her the truth. I have to tell her the truth. That's doubly
I have told her the truth. I did.
You refuse to tell her the truth, and she can't talk to her dad.
Shut up, bitch!
I told her the truth in the park, and she asked you to confirm it, and you lied. I am telling you the truth.
For the
Grace, you know that I told Maggie the truth in that park, and you know you lied to her.
That's
what you said. You said that. It's not a legal matter. There's no charge against him.
I don't know what you want to get me on, Grace. You shouldn't have lied to her. It was really important that you didn't. You should tell her the truth. You should protect her. I didn't protect you.
Or at least not abscond with her.
But you should protect Maggie, and now I am protecting Maggie, but you should get on board. And I'm sorry, obviously just saying sorry like this is like nothing, but I'm really sorry for not protecting you.
Unlike other online scandals where a wrong take or association becomes some hot drama, but largely doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, Grace and Ben pose an actual danger to their family and others. Even as recently as a few days ago,
they literally have people in
the
chat saying Grace did nothing wrong. These people should be fucking
media manager. Your sister, my daughter.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I'm in the works of hiring my sister Margaret as my PR manager.
She'll be great.
Posting on my Twitter for me.
And that'll be another
Instagram.
scandal because she's 15 years old, which is too young to blank, whatever it is. They'll say she's underage.
Yeah.
Lastly, and this is just to warn people who may be around her, Grace has falsely accused her father's past coworkers and associates of sexual assault on live stream with the intent of trying to hurt their IRL life. She claimed Ben's ex-coworker groped her, with her father just sitting across from them in the RV. In no way do I believe this happened, as quite regularly Ben would encourage his trolls to contact his ex-coworkers' employment and wives. He wanted them to be ruined, and if he decides to do that with you, he will be using Grace to do so. There really isn't anything Grace will not do to meet whatever end her father has laid out.
Somehow I missed the whole absconding with the 14-year-old arc, and maybe I just wasn't seeking it out, but I don't know. I didn't know that. Go ahead, Cinemaz.
Are you shocked that Keemstar didn't want that shown?
Well, no, because if you show that, I mean, the only conclusion you can come to is this bitch has got to be off the show. Right?
Yeah, and they did. They did these little mock shows where they said, "Oh, we're gonna kick Grace, we're gonna kick Grace," but Keemstar even called into Grace's own show.
That's when first off, I already knew it was fake, but once Keem, I said this on air, once Keem called into her show, it's obvious work.
And yeah, he knows that he needs her for this to get more than 1,100 views an episode. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the thing is, Keem, we've seen him drop people before and blackball people before. He doesn't go on their shows. That's one of the number one things he doesn't do.
Look at what he did to Salvo, for instance.
Well, that's what I'm saying. No, we're not. But like I was thinking that when I said it.
He'll go to major extents to blackball the fuck out of you and make sure you'll never have a career on YouTube, like as long as he can do anything about it.
Yeah, that's again. I already thought it was fake, and some people, they're good people, by the way, friends of mine, but they're like, "Hey, look at this story, you know, maybe retweet this, talk about it in your show," and I'm like, "It's not real. She's not fired.
Yeah.
That's horse shit." And you know, I don't think they quite understood just how fake they are these days.
$1 on Rumble. Get that giant Jew Rosen on the case.
Get the giant guy Rosen on the case. That's not what Assmaster said, but yeah, they can't show this on air. Like I don't know. I think this would turn off even the normies. Like I literally see people in their chat and they're like, "Grace did nothing wrong," and da da da. It's kind of mind-boggling.
Grace is like kind of a fan over there because she actually like does have a level of charisma and like stage presence, but none of these people, because they get like 2,000 viewers, however many viewers, they don't know, they haven't watched Shamoo's videos. They haven't watched this 10-minute video about absconding with a 14-year-old for sure. And it's obvious why they canceled the appearance.
They don't even, like you said, this is all mostly, at least, idiots who don't actually know the people that they're rooting for and watching. Maybe they've heard a little something about her, or, oh, she fucks her dad, but they don't even really believe that, right? Even though she does. And so they think it's all like a game and it's all a joke and this is some backstory people have come up with, not knowing that there's really like, I don't even know, 100 hours of content showing all this stuff. Right?
It's their whole fucking brand, pretty much.
Yeah.
That they're the daughter-father fuck couple. And like, that's their brand.
Well, I'm convinced 90% of the audience don't even realize that.
Well, and even if they'll think it's some kind of a meme.
Yeah,
There's
that's what I'm
all
saying.
These clips. Yeah, exactly. Like, there's legitimate proof.
Yeah, they think it's a meme or some type of, you know, like I said, storyline or joke that they thought of, and it's like, no, actually, no.
Well, and there's even more than obviously the incest shit's probably the worst, along with like the 14-year-old daughter stuff. But also, you can look at the brother. Ben would like physically abuse him while he was in crutches and restrict him from getting inside of his car when he was trying to leave. Like, these are horrible, like objectively bad people, and Keemstar's employing them.
Well, you know, I've talked to these people off the air, and Ben especially, but Grace too, they have 100,000 different excuses and like alternate reality stories about all this stuff. Because I've asked them some of this stuff off air, and I'm like, what about this, that, and the other? And they always have a reason or an excuse, or it didn't go down like that. And I told this story on air, but I talked back when I was bringing them on my show, and I still didn't know all the backstory, but I knew enough. And I'm like, look, stop with the whole. I even said at the time, although I changed my opinion the more I've seen from those two, but I'm like, look, I don't think you guys are fucking, but like, stop leaning into that shit, right? Like, what are you doing? This is not good. Don't make that a thing. Stop talking about it. Don't go on air together. Separate. You know what I mean? And I tried to give that advice, and they wouldn't take it. But, and I genuinely at the time, I did think that they were just kind of leaning into it, and that wasn't actually the case. But, you know, the more I've seen, the more strange behaviors I've witnessed from those two, I no longer think it's a meme or some type of joke they're doing. I think they do have some type of sick relationship going on.
And it's insane you think back. They had been platformed on the Crucible, on Destiny's stream multiple times. All these people wrote them off on your stream multiple times. Everyone wrote them off and said, no, they're sick degenerates. But
Keem resurrected them for no reason.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? It's
the worst thing he's ever done. They were dead in the water.
Yeah.
And I like to think I helped towards that goal, and Shamoo damn sure helped, and everybody else was like, these people are done. Nobody works with them. Everybody blackballed them. Only the absolute just fucking bottom barrel motherfuckers would even go on stream with these people. And I gave them a couple extra chances too, and it was like, you know what? They're sick. More problems than they're worth. Don't even associate with them. I don't care what's going on that day. Don't bring them on for easy content. They're scum. Keep them away. don't talk to them unless don't talk about them either unless you're burying them. And then Keem rose these two back up from the dead. No reason whatsoever. And he's got money. It's a sickness. Like, what in the world? Is it just sheer greed? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, there really is no reason for it, right?
It's not like he's broke or, can't afford to do something else or just down in his luck and he has to have this. I'm not saying that would make it right, but at least I'd be like, all right, well, understandable. It's another circus running over there or whatever. I find it easier to write it off. Whereas it's like Keem's got money and he's got all this, all these contacts and all this history. Like, why is he raising the Thorps back up, reanimating this corpse?
Do you think maybe he's trying to set up some kind of Destiny-style polycule? Because I know that he had his current fiance was like he hired her as an assistant when she was in her late teens, and then ended up engaged. Do you maybe
Brantley? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he initially hired her as an assistant, and then they secretly started dating before he became engaged with her. Do you think maybe he's trying to bring Grace Thorpe into the fold?
Well, I couldn't say, but apparently there was a stray comment by Keemstar on one of these episodes recently about him having some kind of arrangement with Brantley. I don't know what that means, and I didn't actually hear it myself, but I saw some people talking about it. Look, I swear to... Well, that's what they said he said. I'd have to go back and listen myself, but I think it was an accurate retelling, and it apparently just kind of got lost in the sauce. He was drinking as well at the time, but nobody really picked up on it. I don't know what he meant by that.
Keem's a little bit similar to Worski. When he gets drinking and doing the solo streams, they spill a little too much and they start,
It was very curious. And again, I didn't actually hear it myself because I just saw people talking about it. I was like, what did he mean by that? All right. And he never clarified it. And I think he might have been on with Wings and Boogie. I'm not sure if it was by himself or what, but it wasn't followed up upon. Now, those two would be too afraid to follow up on it anyway, but I don't know if he's trying to bang Grace, but if so, like, why? Like, dude, he can get a better pussy than that. Like, I don't know.
He's a fucking millionaire. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
He has this boxing thing going on. He has Drama Alert. He has all these. Why platform Discord pay pigs and Grace Thorpe, who's like one of the most toxic, controversial people on the fucking on YouTube, maybe not the internet, but who's still on YouTube. Someone who's known who just fucks her father, and it's bizarre.
I cannot understand it. It's not like he needs the money, and again, I would cut other people like. I don't say cut them slack, but I understand it. It'd be like, look, I brought the bitch on my show too, even her dad. And it's like, okay, this is a fucking train wreck shit. And there were some amazing moments out of it. And some were okay. We did the dancing thing and had her debate a couple times or whatever. And it's like, all right, that's fine.
That was good.
Yeah, exactly. Like that, that stuff was fine. But there was also this like the complete psychodrama stuff. Like when her and Ben, not her dad, I won't even say, just call him Ben. The fucking freak pedophile, incestuous pedophile. Anyway, we had her and Ben on. I forget, and it was right after he argued with Milo, I think, that day.
Oh yeah, that's a great clip. He's saying he's gonna show up to Milo's house.
Yeah, and Milo's just laughing at him. Yeah, that shit's hilarious. And then I forget what it was that day. I forget what they were even arguing about, but it was just crazy. Like Jerry Springer, like not even Springer, just. Springer on like nuclear radiation fallout type shit, and he's telling the story about how he made Grace walk out into the woods naked while they were on FaceTime and all this shit. And I'm like,
he made her undress to humiliate her and punish her and run in the woods. Yeah, completely insane psycho shit.
He sprung this shit on me live on air. I didn't even have any clue. Because somebody mentioned it on the call or in chat, because I was in their Discord call, or not Discord, but Telegram call. And like, I genuinely thought they were either exaggerating or that didn't happen. And so I was like, hey, can you just explain what happened there? I'm sure it's not like that. And he goes, no, actually it was like that. And then he goes to the whole thing and I'm like,
because it sounds like some shit that would like some fanfic.
It sounds like fanfic farms is exactly what it sounds like, and I'm like, okay, surely, Ben, it wasn't exactly like that, right? Like you can clear this up. And rather than clearing anything, I mean, he did clear it up, I guess, in a way. He said, yeah, it's all true. And then it was actually even sicker than they said. He went into other details about it. And I'm just like, I was astonished. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Anyway.
And, the same guy who said he couldn't bring you on because you're too political is now employing.
He doesn't care about that. He's got a grudge against me. I forgot even by now. Probably because of the fight shit with Worski. I don't even remember. It was something before that, too. Obviously, he doesn't care anything about somebody's skeleton. I mean, my skeletons are what? Drugs and women? Ben's is he fucks his daughter. Grace is she promotes pedophilia and, absconds with her 14-year-old sister so Ben can have his way with her. And it's like, my shit is I won't use the term child's play. That's probably not the right word to use here, but small potatoes, I would say, compared to that. But
getting fucked up on air and saying some wild shit like you're gonna come on a grave is a lot different than fucking your own daughter. So,
I would say it's in a different category, yeah. But
also, someone in your chat said check your Cash App.
We're 35 away from the goal. What? We might be even closer. Let me check the Cash App. Look at Eagle Eye Cinemas there. Of course, I got on. I'm usually watching the chat.
You call me. I don't like that Eagle Eye. That's a callback to Gator there.
It's not really, though. I was using that term before that faggot, but yeah, you're right. That is an old callback. A 10 spot. Thank you for that. Now we're 25 away from 150. But yeah, you're right. I guess it is kind of a callback to him. But I was using that term in real life for a long time. But we'll call you then. I don't know. Think of something. I could call you. Snakes can't really see that well. I was going to say Snake Eyes. All right, 25 away from the goal, from 150. Let me check and see if he said anything there as well. Oh, yeah, you're right, Stefan. I fucking forgot about that because I criticized his girlfriend. Yeah, but he can say anything about anybody else. I mean, compared to Boogie's girlfriend and fucking Wings' girl, I was kind of just talking shit. Like, I didn't even...
He also is a public figure. Like, he appeared on the Keemstar show.
Plus, he was talking a bunch of shit at me at the time, too, and it's like, whatever. All right, you know me. Everything's fair game, somebody once said. And, I didn't make that rule. That's just how it is around here. Any chance for Legal Man to come on the show soon? It's funny you mentioned that because I was thinking that. It's been a little bit. I have to watch his movie before he comes back because I promised I would. But, yeah, I was already thinking that. So I'm glad you reminded me. You know what? I'll put a little note here on the back side of this agenda for Thursday because I was damn sure thinking that.
Is there more in that Shamoo thread outside of the video?
Oh, yeah. I think there is one or two more. Oh, Rotten Tooth Man had a meltdown today. I didn't see it all, but I saw.
Not many people did, I'm sure.
Yeah. Of course, I was on air anyway, but I saw somebody said he was trying to challenge me to some type of conversation or some shit. Obviously, I'm not doing that. All right. Because why? What, I'm trying to make that faggot money? I don't think so. He'll just have to sift through my shows like always. I'm not going to talk to him ever. I called his fucking fat ass wife on the phone, and that'll be the last time. Yeah, Neelam or whatever the fuck.
Extra the sword at the wedding bitch. And everything.
Yeah. I don't have any desire to do that. Shamoo says, with the Thorps, this isn't fake drama or I think I read this, or over exaggerations. Fake drama of over exaggeration, whatever. It says this is a real family. If you watch the video, they pose legitimate and actual danger to their family members and people they work with. Yeah, I did read the rest of that. But at the end, he said, I will have a video up tomorrow on my YouTube channel detailing everything. Share the thread and juice. I already quote tweeted it myself, and I will go back and retweet it later as well. But mistake for them. To engage Shamoo in some bullshit. Where do you see, I guess I'll finish it off with this, Cinemas. Where do you see Lolcow Queens going?
I personally think that after what they did today. I think people like you, I wouldn't be surprised if Shamoo went on the Dick Show or or even
Oh,
like
sure.
Chud Logic. I would happily host them. I think that there's going to be a large dent put in Keemstar's project after this mishap.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. You know, I see them. They apparently got some views, but I don't know. And then I see these people. Grace leaked it on her Discord. She's responsible. I guess, are they talking about the Shamoo stuff? I don't even know. But I don't really see. I guess I just don't get it.
I'd give him 6 weeks. That would be like my final prediction, probably.
Well, hopefully it ends in a massive fucking disaster for everybody involved. That's all we can hope for. And,
well, I think we can all maybe contribute to doing that too.
I agree. And I don't know if Masterson's seen this yet or not, but Shamoo's been on there a lot recently, and I would like to see him back on to discuss this. And so I don't have to tell Dick though, but I'm sure he's already on it. But we'll see. Cinemass, promote your stuff too before you go.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube at It's Cinemas. I do live streams like once or twice a week, mainly kind of, even though I hate the term lolcat, just on freaks and weirdos. I might do a stream with Shamoo about this nonsense if he's up for it. But Ralph, I appreciate you having me on. Fuck Keemstar and all of this Lolcow Queen project, Lolcow Live nonsense.
Agree 100%. I appreciate you being here, man. We've had 2 guests today that I didn't even plan on. So thank you, brother. I appreciate it. And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Have a good one.
You too. Cinema's here live on the Killstream. Double. All right, back to the Lolcow. Jesus Christ.
I'm talking about Shamoo.
Okay, so why couldn't Shamoo come up here?
There's a reason that I cannot discuss, but there is a reason, and the people above me know it. So I don't need to explain it to you. Next, what else do you have to say?
Because
I
understand
understand content.
He's
I
been
understand.
on other. He's been.
Mhm.
I've actually been on a live stream with Shamoo.
That doesn't matter. You don't know what he was going to say on the show. You don't know what he was going to say on the show. I do.
How do you
There's a
know?
reason.
How do you
because
know
he
what he
told
was
me.
gonna say on the
Because
show?
he told me, and I read the text, and I was like, "Oh fuck! I can't
Then
let this
drop
guy
the
go
tweet.
live."
Oh, that's that's the Betty Boop bitch? God, she ought to be arrested for her profile pic. That's the fakest fucking shit I've ever seen in my life. What the fuck? Leave her in the streets, Travis? Yeah, look. I don't know. It doesn't look... You might just have to learn the hard way. But,
Because this is going to get our channel struck down. That's why.
Well,
now,
can you
I would
tell
like
us
to get back
vaguely what?
May
no,
I
wait,
go?
hang on.
No, I
Can you
cannot,
tell
Grace, and I don't answer
vaguely?
to you. I would
Was
like
it
to go
was
back
it something
to the
about
super
sexual
chats.
stuff? Was it
It
criminal?
doesn't matter,
Like,
Grace.
What was it?
The reason I'm not going into it is I'm actually protecting you right now, so please don't push me. Yes, Keem.
All right. I'm sorry. I'm here to solve this one little argument and debate of what's going on. All right. So I was told from Becky that someone's coming in to reveal that you think the age of consent is 14. And I told Becky, keep all that shit away from the fucking show. Keep it all away from the show. But then when I reached out to Grace, she said, I didn't say that. That's not true. So I don't care if these people come on as long as there's no like weird pedo talk.
Well, you could have
That
just
was
told
going
him
to
not
be
to
part of
mention
what
that.
he was
wouldn't
going to
have
talk
brought it up.
about, Keem. He was going to talk about that, and he had
Okay,
screenshots
Becky,
of things as well.
But it's not necessarily. It's not.
yeah, she definitely said that.
Sorry.
All I'm saying is it's not necessarily Becky's fault because Becky told me that this was going to be brought up, and I said no, keep that shit away from the show. Absolutely not. It's not like Grace actually believes that, so I don't want that brought up. That's
Exactly.
all.
Sweep it
Exactly.
up!
No,
Thank you.
Shamoo has something of me out of.
It's not like Grace actually believes... Man, Keem, God, pathetic. This guy doesn't need the money either. I mean, I guess you could always use more, but this is a hell of a way to do it. Not only did he say, oh, just keep it off the show, he takes it a step further, Cinemaz. I see you back in the chat. He takes it a step further by saying, well, of course she doesn't believe that. Right? Like, that's a full sweep, a full spin. So it's beyond just saying, well, we'll keep it off the show. We don't want this on our show, and da-da-da. He takes it from that to, oh, I'm co-signing for her. You see how those two things are different? I mean, they're still both shady, but at least one, it's like, well, I just don't want this on our show. It might fuck up our channel. Da, da. And then he takes it, well, of course, Grace doesn't believe that, right? Like, Cinema said pathetic. I can't explain it any other way. He doesn't need the cash. Surely he knows some other bitch in the whole universe out of like streamers and shit he could plug in there, but we called it. Yes, we did. Cube Rube says, so Keem is trying to bang Grace? Well, that was speculated on earlier. And, you know, I actually didn't think so, but now I'm starting to wonder because what else even makes sense? He doesn't need the money. Surely he could find somebody else. I know she's like the linchpin of whatever the fuck they're doing here, but I don't know. Disturbing.
Thing is, it's not necessarily Becky's fault because Becky told me that this was going to be brought up, and I said, no, keep that shit away from the show.
Keem's the Wizard of Oz producer in their ear. He does seem, if you know wrestling, you know the gorilla position. And Vince McMahon used to be infamous for always talking in the announcer's ears. And if you watch wrestling long enough, sometimes you could hear verbatim, especially through Michael Cole, Vince basically telling him exactly what to say. Hey, repeat this verbatim, right? And you could pick out the comments that were straight from Vince if you know anything about Vince. Now they seem to not do it as much. Like Triple H is still in their ear, but like he doesn't seem to be giving them like direct, exact things to say too often, whereas Vince would do it all the time. So I don't know if Keem's in the gorilla spot or not, but
absolutely not. It's not like Grace actually believes that, so I don't want that brought up. That's all.
Did they really, Cinemaz? A few minutes ago, they brought Shamoo on for about 30 seconds before kicking him. Really? Do we have a clip of that? Well, you know, I thought that might happen. Danny the Janny, I just heard somebody call him on Twitter. We're at it. I would have probably told Shamoo not to go on because I would have expected that to happen, honestly. But, wow. I mean, I'm 30 seconds for real. I wonder if Shamoo clipped it. I don't see it. I don't feel like sifting through their whole show. Yeah, see if you can find a clip real quick. Shameful display. Well, it is. Oh, shit. Okay, sorry. Let me finish the clip.
Exactly.
No,
Thank you.
Shamoo has something of me out of context from Discord that I can defend myself on.
But the point was the boss told me not to do it, so I didn't do it. That's the point.
All right. Okay,
and
well,
I
then
didn't
that's not your
discuss that. If I may finish, I didn't discuss. If I may finish, I didn't discuss that because I have an NDA. If Keem wants to say it, he can. But you can push on me as much as you want. I'm not going to break my NDA.
Shut up, fat bitch. God, how do people watch this shit? She's somehow more annoying than Grace. Good Lord. I cannot understand. I don't get it. Let me see. I'll look and see if I can find a clip real quick too. I don't see anything off top. Yeah, I can't see anything. Becky, shut the fuck up. Yeah, I know, dude. Her voice is super fucking annoying. Cag Mike says, yo, Grace deserves the shit. Keem will put her through. Fair point, Cag Mike. Very fair point. Who is this fat bitch? I didn't realize, but Cinema's, it's just, like he said, they just pull these fucking losers off their Discord. I thought these were some type of... Keem's probably not paying them jack. This is unreal. I mean, the only controversial character that's even known is Grace. Who are these other people? It doesn't make sense. Becky Boop. God, what a dishonest fucking profile pic. That's insane. I can't get over that. 10 minutes ago from the live feed. God bless. I don't want to turn it on, but Fine. There's no way. These numbers have to be inflated, surely to God. I can't believe this.
I love
No,
it.
it's
I
not
love
that.
the free
It's about
These people just watch anything. I don't understand.
great.
No, go ahead. You got 20 more minutes. I'm not allowed to talk apparently because Grace will
No,
do
you
anything
can talk.
No,
You
no,
can talk.
no, because Grace doesn't let me. And every time I have something
Okay,
to
it's
say,
coming
I
up.
get cut off. So Grace, have your own fucking little Grace.
Just shut up,
good.
bitch.
Welcome to the shit show. And this is
Oh my God, I could go fight a war, but I
excuse
won't
me.
even fight my own
Hey,
battles.
Shamoo, welcome to the shit show. And
I
this is Becky up
apologize
there.
for Becky. We are sorry for her unprofessionalism. Welcome to the show.
It's a show about lolcows not being professional, bitch.
Will they get on
This is so fake.
the floor and suck cock, bitch?
It was total bullshit. I laid out everything that was going to be in the video. Nobody said anything about it. None of my videos get struck down. And the fact that you guys aren't even willing to like put anything on screen, or I can't even talk about it without getting kicked, about her comments about 14-year-olds.
No, we're not gonna talk
being
about
consent.
pedo shit.
Yeah, you can't talk about it. You guys are just covering, and it's total bullshit. I don't know.
It ain't covering. I just don't discuss it. I've been
I don't know who you guys.
I never
think
asked
is
you were going to talk
fired.
about Shamoo. You were going to talk about
insane.
stuff like age
This
of
is a
consent and stuff that
bullshit
cannot be
exposed
discussed.
stream.
And
It's
it
a
doesn't matter. You're
bullshit,
not owed a
light-hearted
spot
thing
on the
because
show.
you guys
I
want to
never
be able to
asked to
keep your
bring you
show.
on.
So you can try to hide it or whatever, but it's on my Twitter.
nothing
People
to
can
do
go
with
watch
hiding
it and
anything.
look
See,
at
you
it,
see?
and you
Do
guys
you
can
guys
keep
see?
tweaking.
I'm trying to
I
protect
know you're
the
not talking
fucking
about
show
me,
here.
bitch, because I don't even talk about that kind of shit. I don't give a fuck who's fucking who. I don't care who's sucking who either. I can give two fucks. That's the problem with YouTube now. Y'all went to a new whole angle.
Shut up, old whore. Yeah, go ahead and upload it, Cinemas. Yeah, you're good. Fuck off, bitch. I just feel sick even looking at this, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. Retweet this from Shamoo. Ugh. And this old bitch. That's the problem with you. Shut up, whore. God, I hate these people. Every single person on that show is detestable. Not even just personally. I mean, first off, I don't really care about somebody's personal life unless they're talking about fucking kids. And I'm like, all right, you know, that seems germane to the conversation here. They somehow found two more annoying people. I guess that must have been the idea. To find two whores that are actually more annoying than Grace Thorpe, which is a hell of an achievement. To make her the least annoying option, although she's the most odious person on the panel. But they have two just physically disgusting people, but also just their voices as well are just like horrific. To make hers more sonically pleasing in contrast, right? It's a subliminal thing too, right? Where this person is the most, I have a hard time believing the other two are more disgusting. Let's just put it that way. And everybody knows that. Well, if you know anything about Grace Thorpe. So how do you, it's subtle ways to counteract that, right? Okay, let's put two uglier bitches for first measure there. And then second, make sure their voice is just ear-piercingly like you want to rip your headset off. Bad. I can't. Finally, a show that's somehow worse than Kino Casino. I mean, God, you know, I hate both those bastards, but I would have a hard time finding anything that bad. And they told more lies about me than anybody. But I don't watch them, but like if it came down between them and that, I can't listen to that. That was more than enough. The 3 minutes, 2.5, whatever that was that we watched there. Like and it actually works because I know how disgusting Grace is, and I just learned something new on the disgusting tip tonight. Even still, I'm like, shut up, bitch, to the Becky whore, and then this old grandma starts yapping her mouth. She looks like she's fresh out of the trailer park. Like yeah, I saw that. I see it now. Look, And I see Shamoo just put up a tweet of the show, but I don't even know that I want to retweet their shit anymore. Because, you know, I found this out. They don't really care. Like, I torched Wings and I went on there and demolished Boogie and Wings both at the same time. Keem doesn't give a fuck, though. Like, you can destroy all these people and own them or whatever, expose them, but he doesn't care because he doesn't care about any of these people. It's all about making money for him. Well, how does he make money? More people talking about the show. Now, no, we've kind of fallen into the trap ourselves here today, but kind of had to happen, I guess. But I don't think it really bothers him to see Wings getting called a pedophile or Grace called a pedophile and all this dirt coming out. And it's more grist for the mill for him. He doesn't give a shit. Cinemass says Keem will just fake fire them and bring them back next week. Yeah. Yeah, Boogie lied about cancer and they kept him. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't care. I mean, honestly, his just craven dishonesty and craven shekel grabbing way is probably the most straightforward thing about him. Where it's like, yeah, it's Keem, you know, he doesn't give a shit about these people. He doesn't care. If they were to blow their brains out tomorrow, he doesn't care. I mean, look at some of the other people in his past that's killed themselves, etc. He doesn't give a shit. I mean, he has to act like he gives a shit every once in a while, but he doesn't. Am I wrong? I don't think so. You got that reference, didn't you, Cinema? See, he's always on my level. I thought it was a little subtle. About as subtle as I can be, at least. It wasn't subtle if you know the history, but anyway. I think that's the show today. I got some other stuff, but it is kind of funny what a cold son of a bitch he is. Yeah, I mean, on a certain level, I'm not defending him at all. We don't get along, but on a certain level, when you realize that, it's just like, well, that's just Keem. He's a fucking rat bastard. He doesn't care about anybody else. He just wants his money. Right? Like, okay. Any genuine emotion he ever shows is completely fake towards anybody ever. And once you understand that, you've understood Keemstar. And if you apply that paradigm to everything that comes out of his mouth or everything he does, you really can't go wrong. Because it never fails.
Thank you for watching this clip. This is Perspicacity. Remember to like and subscribe.